Support the work of Strike 7 Sports by heading to Fanatics.com and purchasing officially licensed gear from the NFL, the NBA, and more. Each purchase made through the text link below goes into the funding of the Strike 7 Sports brand. To proceed, go to the link strike7sports.com/fanatics. I say again, strike7sports.com/fanatics. Thank you. Yo, what's up? This is your boy Derek Wentz here at strike7sports.com. This is another episode of the Strike 7 Sports Podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Brian Botta and Leo Seaberry. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. So we're gonna jump right into it. It's been, like always, another crazy week. Past 24 to 48 hours in the world of sports. A lot has gone down. Russell Westbrook stuff, with the family. Skip Bayless beef with the wife, back and forward. LeBron, hurt. We'll talk about that later on. Warriors, they ain't doing too good right now, but we'll get into that as well. But first off, we got to talk about the NFL, and yesterday was the start of the quarterback shuffle. I don't know if y'all are surprised by the moves, but Denver came in and got a part of the Russell Wilson action, made a move for him. We all thought it was going to be Aaron Rodgers that they made the move for, but I guess Russell was the second option, and I would say that was a good plan by Denver. But first, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and his decision to stay with the Green Bay Packers. He didn't move after all. I think a lot of us knew he wasn't going to go anywhere. Why would you leave a weak NFC to play in a division, that's got, I would say, three of the best quarterbacks in the top 10 right now. But according to the deal, the reports is that Rodgers signed a 4-year deal worth over $200 million extension with Green Bay, $50 million annual salary. But according to Jason Lockenfor and Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, but Rodgers, they came out and said that's not the actual deal, but who knows. But the biggest thing is that he's staying with the Green Bay Packers for right now. Well, possibly till he retires. But I want to ask y'all, since now that he has decided to stay with the Green Bay and Devontae Adams to get his franchise tag, how does Green Bay get better going into next season?
I'll take this one first. Really, I think how they get better, I think they're gonna do DB is build through the draft. Like, I know this is a win now team, but they're gonna have to get guys who are ready to play now because there's not too much money left to give around. I think you got Adams tag. You just mentioned the extension for that A-Rod's probably gonna get. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a team that's gonna have to also, in terms of building through the draft, get guys who are ready to come in, step in, and to play now. They're gonna have to restructure some contracts, and you've seen the teams around the league do that. We can to create cap space, most notably like the Cowboys and a few other teams. So there's no worry right now on what the Packers are doing in terms of that front, but I'm pretty sure they're going to ask some guys who've gotten some recent extensions maybe to take, maybe not to take a pay cut maybe, but to perhaps get their contracts restructured. And so it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but I think the best way is maybe you build through getting some free agency guys too, because you got Devontae Campbell, who they got as a bargain, a guy who they got for maybe $2 or $3 million, and he became an All-Pro. So they're gonna have to get those bargain guys in free agency. They can become key contributors on their team too. So for me, it's either they build through the draft and they get like some guys that can come in and play right away, or you get like those bargain guys you can find the gems, the diamonds in the rough. So those type of guys.
Yeah, I agree with most of what he said. They're going to have to be aggressive in what they do because while the NFC is wide open, Aaron Rodgers is getting up there. And I know he played really well this season, but I think he got maybe 1 or 2 years where he's going to be playing at an elite level. So I think you got to go in these next 1 to 2 years and try to win a Super Bowl. If they can get some pieces for Jordan Love, I pick him because clearly he's not going to be playing anytime soon. And they just need to make more moves that can help them win. I mean, their defense is, especially against the runs, a little suspect, so they can add pieces there. Definitely need more receivers. I think that's been an issue for quite some time. So they have a really good number one, arguably the best receiver in the game, but they don't have a really good number 2 or 3, so they really need to address that. And I feel like once they do that, be more aggressive maybe in the playoffs, then I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree with most of what most of y'all are saying, but if y'all haven't noticed, if a defense can bracket Devontae Adams, he's not comfortable throwing the other wide receivers. And do you think if they sign somebody, a Christian Kirk, DJ Chalk, Cedric Wilson, any one of those guys, do you think he would be more comfortable throwing the football around outside of Devontae Adams? Because I think the offense could be a little too dependent on Devontae Adams. They don't use Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon enough, in my opinion. But I think they should dominate the NFC North once again. But I will say this though: watch out for the Minnesota Vikings, man. Watch out for the Minnesota Vikings. And there's a chance, I think there's a slight chance, that they could uproot Green Bay in this NFC North. That's what I think. But I want to see, it's going to be interesting to see what they do next week once the free agency, tampering period opens up. What type of moves they can make, what type of moves they can get, pull off to improve their offense. Also, I think I forgot about Robert Tonyan, the tight end. He's pretty good. He'll be back next year. I think, like I said in the chat the other day, I think if I was them, I'd try to make a move for Christian McCaffrey. I think that makes him a whole lot better. But we'll see. Anything else? Any other thoughts?
Wait, I just came.
What's up?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know, who did you say should get McCaffrey?
Green Bay.
But
No, I don't. They just paid. Think about it. They just paid Aaron Jones. So unless if you want to do a swap, but I'd rather have Aaron Jones than McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, they just, to me, man, like I said, the offense is too dependent on one wide receiver, and I just don't think they do a lot of other things to make them competitive in games. Like when they played San Francisco, they got pretty much botched up. They just got locked. They locked Adams up. Aaron Rodgers couldn't really do anything, and you had a guy like Aaron Jones back there, and A.J. Dillon. But we'll see. All right, so moving right along. So the next, like a few hours, I wouldn't even say I would say like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour after Rodgers announced the Rodgers deal, out of nowhere came the bomb that Russell Wilson was getting traded to the Denver Broncos. Now, at the combine, at the NFL combine, if y'all recall, Pete Carroll announced that Seattle had no intentions of trading Russell Wilson to anybody. Well, crazy how that works, isn't it? Because maybe because Russell Wilson didn't want to go to the Washington. My bad, I keep calling the Washington football team, the Washington Commanders, because they had the deal on the table to make the move. I'm assuming that Russ didn't want to go there. So Denver, I can understand that. He decided he wants to go to Denver. Denver had the picks, the offers, the players, and they pulled off the trade. So I got the compensation, the transaction right here in front of me. Seattle was going to receive 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, defensive. I think it's defensive tackle, who's pretty good, and Noah Fant. So I want to ask y'all this question. So with everything that's been done, do y'all think Seattle got enough for Russell Wilson, given his resume?
I think I would have probably asked for one more first round pick, but overall, I think what they got was all right. Someone made a joke, and I think it's kind of funny. They basically got what they gave up to get Jamal Adams for Russell Wilson.
That was a
That
dumb
changed
trade.
pretty bad. So, yeah, I think they did all right. And I'm going to be interested to see what they decide to do with their quarterback. Do they try to get a veteran? I saw Deshaun Watson maybe linked there. Or do they try to go with the younger guy?
Okay.
What do you think, Leah?
I agree with you. Like, you just made that perspective. Like, they think about it. They did just, like, they made that big old trade for Jamal Adams. And they lost those 2 first round picks. Essentially, they get those 2 picks back. And I know you lose Russell Wilson, but if their intention was to rebuild, this was the best offer they were going to get. And I know the Commanders' offer was reportedly more, but he also has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
So he probably told them, "I'm not going to Washington." So just think about that. He's only one of 7 players in the NFL with no trade clause. With a no trade clause. So you have with them being limited to that, and the Broncos probably made the best offer. There are probably other teams in this that we don't know about that were in there.
Right.
It's unfortunate that we have to have the Broncos in the same division as the Raiders now. We have 3 really good quarterbacks to go against, but hey, it is what it is. And I really, you know what? The Seahawks are now in a better position, in my opinion. Not saying not having Russ behind them is a loss, but they went 5-11. They were 5-12 with them, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
So
I think they won in final the last few games of the season.
Were they 6? They may have had a tie, but anywho, they were like 6-10, 6-11. 6-11, I think. So they weren't that great this year. So if this was the time to rebuild, it'd be now. And it also shows y'all who won the power struggle between Wilson and Carroll. The coach is gonna outlast the player.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't think Seattle got enough for this trade, man. Only 2 first round picks for a guy like Russell Wilson.
Well, technically, if you want to be technical, they technically got 3. If you want to add Noah Fant.
Nah, come on, man.
It's a 2-year guy, but he's only 23.
He's a good tight end. I mean,
Yeah,
I can respect him. That's fair. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. If I was Denver, I would have rather just given up another first round pick than I would have kept Fant. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, that would have been another weapon for Wilson, but they didn't. But I don't know, man. Do we trust Pete Carroll to do the right thing with these picks? Because Seattle has not drafted well in a long time.
Yeah, that's a great point because, like, ever since they think about those picks they've had in the first round, L.J. Collier, Rashad Penny, they have not worked out well. It was ironic with those teams. The Seattle Seahawks, when they were winning, did great with late round picks.
Yeah.
They did great. They did great with second round and on, not first round and above. And so, I don't know what Carroll's gonna do. I honestly don't. We don't know if Pete Carroll's gonna be there to make the picks. Like, we're not saying we won't get fired. Maybe he steps down eventually before like in the next few years or so. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what the future of this team looks like. But DB, when we get off of this topic, obviously I want to hear you all's comments too. But my friend has a question. He's watching, and we talked about this It's kind of not related to this topic, but so right after you all finish, I was gonna ask this question for a hypothetical question for you all. If that's cool.
Go ahead, man.
I'm trying to see I want y'all to get y'all thoughts out too. So, about the rush trade before I ask this because it's not related to this topic.
Go ahead, ask, man. Right now?
Okay, so Nah, not right now. I was gonna wait till we finish the. I want to hear your thoughts about the Russ trade.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, man. If I was Seattle, man, I would ask for like 3 first rounders, man. 3 first rounders. I think the Noah Fant guy get asked for Noah Fant and Shelby Harris was legit. That's good. Makes their offense a little bit better. But I would ask for at least 3 first rounders. So, Russell Wilson has a very strong resume, a Hall of Fame resume. Went to the playoffs in his first year. Went to back-to-back Super Bowls in his second and third year. Only missed the playoffs twice in his career. Won the NFC West a bunch of times. Um, got numbers up there to be a league MVP candidate, and you only got 2 first round picks. A few second rounders, fifth. I mean, could have got a little more for that, in my opinion. Could have got a little bit more, but I think they go for the quarterback. I mean, I think they go with a quarterback in this draft. I don't think that I don't think they're gonna go for Deshaun Watson. That's because Watson has a trade clause, and I don't think he wants to play with. He wants to work with a defensive-minded head coach. That's what I think. Or Seattle.
Okay,
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like the quarterback. I think they give Drew Lock a year to show something. This is a rebuild. Keep in mind, this is a rebuild. Why not? You got a quarterback back. Why not use the pick use the quarterback that you got? And this year is not a strong quarterback class. So what if they don't like Willis or Pickett? Maybe you wait till the Stroud or Bryce Young come out. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna have the picks.
Yeah.
But also, the bad news about that is the Broncos might not be bad enough to where those picks are high. Because with Russ Wilson, you have to think about that too. For next few years, the Russell Wilson picks, like if Russell Wilson elevates the team to what we expect the Broncos to be, they're not going to be picking. That's going to be some late first rounders they end up getting ultimately. So I guess you could say this year might be the best year to get a quarterback high, like if you want to get one. But if they don't like any guy that they see, they're probably going to be bad. So they'll have their own pick. So why not go with Locke for this year and see can he be that guy? Because you're still gonna have DK and Tyler Metcalf and Noah Fant now, so you're gonna have something to work, and Chris Carson too. So you're gonna have something to work with.
Pete Carroll hasn't shown me any indication of him like getting better on offense, like to be having a up to date NFL offense. He just has showed me that, and I think this could be his last year in Seattle, man. If I'm Seattle, I part ways, man. I part ways with Pete Carroll after this season. And you think the quarterbacks? Well, looking for a quarterback that was crazy this year. Wait till after next season when they have an actual class like C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young come out. I heard Taylor Mordecai might be up in that number as well. Y'all remember him?
Yeah, from SMU.
Yeah, I heard he might be shooting up the charts as well. Taylor Mordecai. So we'll see, man. But I don't know if I told you this before, man. I'll show y'all the video, man. I interviewed Drew Lock like briefly once when at the Liberty Bowl out here, and to me, I just felt like he just gave me them Jay Cutler vibes. It's just like, for real, he just did, man. It's like, yeah, I got a big arm. I got this. You know what I'm saying? That's just to me. But we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought Drew Lock was gonna do something. I don't know, man. He might have been Cutler.
Yeah.
He just does, man. Like a lot of quarterbacks act like that, though, man. Got the quarterbacks with the big arms, cocky.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I could do it. I can handle everything. Don't like to be coach. Seen it before, man. But we'll see, man. But I think, like I said, I'm Seattle, man. I got to cut ties with Pete Carroll, man, after this season, because you got. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't like with Colin Cowherd. You got this theory of defensive-minded head coach is not, being up to the times with today's NFL when it comes to offense. I don't know if I don't necessarily agree with that. I just think it's all about with a defensive-minded coach. It's all about the staff, who's around him, what type of staff he has. Look at the guy in Buffalo. He's a defense oriented. So I don't really agree with that. But we'll see.
One thing I'll have a little pushback. He hired Pete Carroll. Their OC came from the Sean McVay tree. He actually was with Bill Belichick. That's where he started as an intern. And his offense is pretty fire. So I'll push back on that. But the one thing I'll say, if I was Seattle, I would have just parted with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. But Pete Carroll, his contract ends through 2025, and he's such a great coach that I think they're going to give him time to rebuild it. But John Schneider is someone who also deserves criticism because he's been in that front office for forever and just got an extension through like 2027. So he's going to be there for a while. He needs to start doing better on the draft picks. And look, if you know you can't draft well, maybe trade. Just make sure you don't trade for a safety that Jamal Adams is all right in coverage, but what makes him great is he's good at blitzing and he's good at the run, stopping the run. But he's terrible in coverage, and that doesn't help you in today's. You can make cases better as a hybrid linebacker than a safety, but that was a really bad trade. They can't make a trade like that again. But yeah, that's the only thing I maybe push back on, that he doesn't run a modern offense or have a better offensive philosophy. Because this guy is good, who they have as their OC.
Oh, yeah? Because he don't Sean McVay? Oh, because he touched the arm of the garment of Sean McVay? Oh, I forgot. Everybody knows Sean McVay is elite. I forgot. Maybe he got the... I mean, I don't know, man. The guys outside of McVay, the other guys, what the guys in Minnesota? And who coach Cincinnati? What's his name is?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. We got Zach Taylor. LaFleur come from that tree. Who else? Shanahan. Man, them guys
Kevin
elite.
O'Connell.
Huh? Kevin O'Connell out of Minnesota. Them guys, I don't know, man, they're elite. Seattle must have...
Staley.
Who?
With the Dodgers.
Yeah, Staley. Oh, nah, Staley. The verdict's still out on him, man. I don't. He like in the leagues too much for me, man. The verdict's still out, man. He's still out. I don't know about him, man. But we'll see. All right, man. What's up with the question, man? What you got to ask, man?
So this is the question that my friends made. We talked about this in the group chat, and when I asked you all made y'all's decisions. But guys, in today's, I'm not sure what he's exactly talking about. Like, you could just say in general. Maybe we'll just put it at the NFL level, strictly. What position do you all think is the hardest to play out of these two positions? Would you all say cornerback or running back? It may seem like a open and slam dunk case, but I just feel like it's an interesting question too. So I want to hear y'all's response to this.
I'll take this. It's pretty simple. You said which one's harder?
Yeah, which one is harder to play in an elite level?
Quarterback. It's just a simple reason why. The offense knows where they're going, the defense doesn't. And so, right there, you already have the disadvantage. And so, think about it, you can have a lot of great running backs by committee. It's hard to find a shutdown corner. You can find good corners that can fit your scheme, but rarely do you find a guy who can just shut down an entire side of the field. So, in my opinion, it's really hard to play corner, and I think, and not just corner, just defense, especially in today's game with all the rules really helping the offenses. So I would say playing corner is the hard position.
Me as well. I agree. It's cornerback, man. That's a very difficult position to play, and it's like, I think the priority of having a shutdown corner that's going up significantly, with the way the offenses are ran now, guys, the rules, and you have to know certain techniques, and certain tricks of the trade to they can allow you to get away with certain things with the officials and all that other stuff. But it's corner, man. It's very hard to find one. I know New England, they got this issue up in New England right now where it looks like J.C. Jackson won't be coming back, but I think they should bring him back. He's in the prime of his career. New England cannot, like I said in the past, New England cannot let really good players go and still think they're going to be a dominant football team when you got Josh Allen in your division right now. And don't let Mike McDaniel get a tour right and old boy down in New York get it together. Then they're really gonna be in trouble. But I think it's cornerback, man. Cornerback is a very difficult position to master. You know, we've seen even top first round picks struggle at times. You know, and it could be a learning curve compared to a running back. You know, running back. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, well, a running back, man. Look, a running back. You don't have to be a really good back, man. If you have like a really good offensive line to run behind, that can make you look really good and drive up your value as a tailback. But corners, man, you get exposed fast, man. Really.
I feel like it's running. I feel like you all in today's NFL, people are understating the importance. Like I know running backs are done by committee, and most teams that win Super Bowls have two good running backs. But at the same time, it's a reason why running back has the shortest career of any player in the NFL. Like even with today's metrics on how people use them, it's still the most, I think, bruising position that you have on the field. Like besides, you're gonna get. Most teams throw the ball a lot, but now that requires most running backs to be pass catchers. So you're still gonna get hit, even when you're trying not to get them to get hit. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's, in my opinion, it's closer than what people say. I see why you go with corner, and I would probably go with corner too. But I feel like it's not much of an open slam dunk as people say it is.
I hear you. I mean, you're right. You could be right about that. Like in that same, I would say in that same token, you have a good old line and a bad running back, and a running back that can't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
You know, because as far as I remember, people quick to discredit Emmitt Smith and say he had a good offensive line for all those years. But from what I remember, when Emmitt was injured and missed a few games, they didn't look the same. Dallas didn't look the same. So I won't say that it was because of that old line. Because of that old line, he was so great. You know. But it's not. I mean, it's not. It's probably not a slam dunk. But corner is a difficult position to learn, to me. And not every running back is gonna have the same results because he has a good offensive line.
Look, I feel like this is another thing to maybe help our argument to say that it's harder to play cornerback. I feel like you can find a really good running back off the street, like off the practice squad. Name it. The Titans brought Adrian Peterson out and Deontay Foreman. They weren't even in the league, and they were thriving. It's hard to do that.
Oh, this Peterson wasn't.
Don't tell me who Adrian Peterson is. I don't get his name alone. Don't act like he's just some screw.
No, but there's a reason why the Titans got him.
Yeah, because
he's a little watched. He's up there. It's all right. Yeah. I know he had a great career, but he's watched a little bit. But the point I'm trying to make is you can't really do that with corner. Are there some guys that maybe are second, third stringers? Yeah, but you can tell the difference. You can't really tell the difference, in my opinion, a lot of most of the time with the second string running back.
He says it's 11 people trying to get one running back. That is true. And yes, running back. We talked about that in terms of running backs do take more of a pounding. I feel like that at least just kind of helps the point of that because running backs do have short shelf lives in the NFL. There's a reason why you're talking about Christian McCaffrey being done after really only 4 good years in the NFL. So, and there's a reason why you're talking about guys getting Alvin Kamara a complimentary piece right because
Yeah.
he can't take all these carries, right? There, there's no such thing as that at the corner position. And I feel like, and I do feel like they kind of help the corner position argument too, because there's really like either you're good at it or you're not. Like you can get another running back to come at you if you're good at catching the ball at the backfield, they can get you a bruiser. If you're not good at playing corner and playing defense, it's nothing. They just have to get rid of you completely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're not good, that's what I'm saying. So I understand the corner argument, but I feel like there is some elements to the running back argument that, such as short career, having, you know what I'm saying, 11 people trying to knock your lights out and everything too. So and you having to not just, you have to, sometimes every team doesn't have a good offensive line. You're gonna have to cut this and say sometimes you're gonna have to create holes.
Right.
You have to create plays. Play. The best playmakers aren't the ones that follow the blockers. The best ones are the ones who when the blocking is not working, they're still elite.
Yeah, like a Barry Sanders.
Yes. We used to, my friend and I sat him down and made him watch Barry Sanders. We watched Barry Sanders highlights. The man used to create alleys and holes. That's what I'm just saying. Like a running back, it's not what it used to be, but it's still, I think it's still important, even though they say you don't need to draft a running back in the first round anymore.
That's another thing. Oh my God.
What?
These narratives, man. Like the running back is the valued position, and what you need when you go to playoffs, man. When you go to playoffs in a cold weather environment, what do you need? What's like the main thing that's gonna get you through? A running back. You know. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
Yeah, man, a running back will get you through them tough times in the playoffs, man. Or even in these games when you fighting for a playoff spot and you playing in cold weather cities. You know, I mean, it depends, man. If a running back, if I feel it as if a back, it's gonna be like a Barry Sanders type, but a generational talent. I'll probably take him. I'll probably take a running back. It depends if my team needs it. Yeah.
You would have taken Saquon Barkley.
Who
Saquon.
Who did pass on that time, man?
I said Saquon.
Who did pass on that time? That could have got Deshaun Watson, right?
Nah, they weren't in the same class.
No, but you're asking who would you would rather have Deshaun, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, now I'm with Deshaun Watson. Now I'm with Deshaun Watson though.
Yeah, you gotta have that quarterback. Like San Francisco, they have a decent amount of running backs. The problem is they just don't have that quarterback that can take him over the top. And they have questionable play calling by Kyle Shanahan in the fourth quarters of the games they lose to.
Man, I still take Shanahan, man. My coach. That dude's an elite caller, man. Play caller, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, but there's a reason, in my opinion, why he struggles. Because he just, I don't know. Maybe it's the quarterback. But we'll see. We'll see what they get.
You got anything else to add?
Nah, it's just these running backs, man. Like I can't even think of a running back this year that's gonna go the first round.
Me either. I think there is none. There is none.
Kenny Walker, you could say
Kenny Walker, yeah.
From, Michigan State.
Isaiah Spiller.
Isaiah Spiller from A&M, he could.
Yeah, but
he's not getting the buzz of a first round draft.
like I seen some mock drafts, man. They got like the only back that I see going into the first is Walker.
And they're not talking about him like being a mid first round. They're talking about this guy being like in the like third or like in the fringes of the first round. They're not talking about him being like a mid first round pick or nothing.
It wouldn't be surprised me if a team like Dallas gets to get Walker, man. For real, somebody like Dallas gets Kenneth Walker. I think he'll kill it.
I'm just looking at this mock draft on Tankathon. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just looking on this mock draft on Tankathon. they don't have a running back taken until the 3rd round, and it's Kenneth Walker to the Texans.
Golly,
To
man.
who?
To the Texans.
Texans. Okay, yeah, they can use a running. They can use some running backs.
Yeah. Well, anyways, man. Moving right along. So after Russ and Aaron Rodgers made their moves, today it was another round of quarterback movement, and this one involves Carson Wentz, a quarterback that I told y'all on the day they missed out on the playoffs. I was like, hey, look, man, they can move on from this dude, bro. They gonna find somewhere. They might take the owner off and they can move on from this dude. Y'all like, nah, they ain't gonna. Yeah, they can move on from this dude. So guess what happened? It happened. They moved on from him, bro. I like, dude, that was a no-no right there, man. All you had to do was beat Jacksonville. You could have beat them 10-7, 10-3, 13-10, 20-6, and you in the playoffs. That's a big no-no right there. But anyways, Colts decide after 1 year, Carson Wentz is going back to the NFC East and play in a division that he's familiar with, and that's it's NFC East. Play some teams that he's familiar with. Watch the Philadelphia Eagles. You see them again. You see Dallas again. You see New York Giants again. But the Colts decide to part ways with Carson Wentz by sending him to the Washington Commanders. In return, Colts receive this year's 3rd round pick. Next year's 3rd round pick could escalate to a 2nd rounder if Wentz plays 70% of the snaps. A 2022 2nd round pick. Commanders receive Carson Wentz and a 2nd round pick for this year. Oh man, I think Washington did a really good job with this pick, with this compensation. They didn't give up a 1st round pick. They didn't give up one of their 1st round picks. There's still opportunities for them to get better on offense. I saw the graphic put out by Pro Football Focus. It looks good on. They look good on paper. You got Carson Wentz, you got Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson. It looks pretty. It's a nice big 5 on offense. Looks really good. I think in the NFC, a very weak NFC East. I think they're like I would say. I think it'll be a toss-up between Philadelphia and Washington for the 2nd best team in the division. I think they could possibly overtake Dallas in the NFC East. But I want to ask y'all. So in the weak overall NFC, a weak NFC conference, does the addition of Carson Wentz makes Washington a playoff team or a team that could get to the Super Bowl? Not win it, but a team that could get to the Super Bowl. What y'all think?
I'll take this first. I'll make it short and sweet. I'm going to say they're going to make the playoffs next year. I'm going to go out on a limb. This will be my bold prediction. They're going to make the playoffs. NFC is much weaker than the AFC. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the division. I'm not sold on the Cowboys, and they're going to lose some pieces too. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts, I love him, but I'm still not. I don't think he's a good quarterback. He improved in the passing game, but I think he has a ceiling, and in the playoffs it really showed it. And then with the Giants, I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing Mitchell Trubisky or another quarterback later in the season, just try to maybe compete for the playoffs if they still have a chance after they give Daniel Jones one more chance. So I'm going to say the Washington Commanders made the playoffs. I like this trade for them. Didn't have to give up a lot. They get a solid quarterback. But for Carson Wentz, I heard Dan Orlovsky say this, and I agree that this is his last chance to be a starter in the NFL. If that doesn't work here, I think he's going to be a backup for the remainder. And if he wants to do that, he may not want to do that. So we'll see.
Wow, Bobby said a lot, and in a short, sweet sentence, I listen to Cal Hurd, my guy. I know y'all may not be Cal Hurd heard guys. I'm a Coward guy. I like his
He's
takes.
straight, man. He
Um,
legit.
so DB, he said, and Brian, he said this, and I agree with everything. Washington has the best D line in the division. Washington has maybe some of the. If Cooper's gone right now, he has a real number. Terry might be the best number one in the division. Might have the best head coach in the division. Might have overall not the best defense in the division, but may have the best defensive pieces in the division. And Carson Wentz might have the best arm of any quarterback in the division. So I think this team can make the playoffs. I do think they're gonna have to do a lot to have to, beat like Dallas, and Dallas pretty much, handled them in those two meetings they had last season. But I think Wentz, this is a chance for him to prove that, I'm more than just a numbers guy, because numbers weren't the problem with Wentz. He put up 20. His touchdown to interception ratio was 4-1.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. But that's not what the problem. The problem is, can you get it done in big games? And Wentz is going to make mistakes. The question is, will those mistakes cost his team's games? Because he plays well when there's no expectations, and he play well when there are expectations. And for you to be in a quarterback at the elite level in the National Football League, you have to play football, dominant football, when you're playing the Lions, or when you're playing the Cowboys or the Saints or the any other like good team in their conference. You can't rise to the occasion against the good team. You can't play well against the bad teams and play. You can't play well against the bad teams and then struggle against the good teams, even though his struggles against the Jaguars, which was a really bad team, is what cost him his job, and ironically the situation in Indianapolis. But I feel like that last game was more than just wins. I don't just blame the defense didn't play well. Trevor Lawrence had his best game. No one's talking about that. Trevor Lawrence had his best game of pretty much of the season. Like you say, was against the Colts.
Yeah.
Pretty much his best game of his short career. So it wasn't just. I feel like he's just a scapegoat because quarterbacks are gonna always get scapegoat. You think that's fair?
No, I don't think that's fair, man. I don't think that's fair at all, man. But he plays at the most important position, so they get the blame. They get the blame, and they get the praise.
Yeah.
But I mean, to say it was Jacksonville, like Jacksonville was picking first in the draft, man. That's a bad look, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you anything else you want to say?
No.
I was gonna say, I feel like the Colts are gonna take a major step back if they're not careful. Apparently, the issues with Carson Wentz. I saw a snippet of a piece that someone wrote in The Athletic. The issues started even before the season. They questioned his leadership skills and all that. And I saw Darius Leonard. He had a tweet where he was.
Yeah, I saw it.
He was frustrated. That's my 5th quarterback in 5 years. And said the Colts better get it right. And if they're not careful, it could cost them. But hey, maybe they just want to. I'm not sure if Irsay wants to do it, but if you tank, you can get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. So I don't think it's as crazy. But if I were them, I think your roster is one thing if your roster wasn't good enough. Your roster is good enough. I think you got to try to go for a good veteran quarterback or get a young quarterback with a lot of upside, like a Jordan Love. That's what I would do if I was them.
The way I see it, I think Washington could be a playoff team in the next season. However, if it's a big if, but if Wentz could get back to his MVP form in 2017, I think they could go farther than this. I mean, they could go beyond being a playoff team. They could be a Super Bowl team. I mean, you go there, man. You win the NFC East. That's a playoff game right there. That guarantees you a home playoff game. You win more games than that. You do more than winning your division. Get you a 2 seed or 1 seed. You host in the playoff games. You got a home field advantage. But it's a possibility that they could play in the Super Bowl. Where their defense is good enough, but for right now, I mean, if Wentz, cut down on being reckless, um, you know, playing the games that win the games that he's supposed to win, and come through in those games, those big games. This team could be dangerous in the NFC, man. The NFC is not competitive this year, man. We do the quarterbacks of the quality of I won't say the quality of quarterbacks are down, but all the top tier talents in the AFC, man. The NFC, you got Wentz, you got Dak, you got Matthew Stafford, you got Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins. That's just what you have. You got Kyler Murray, and it's wide open, man. I mean, this is a team to watch out for, man. It's a team to watch out. The Washington Commanders are a team to watch out next season, man. In this division, the division, and the NFC South, not the NFC South, and the NFC as a whole. That's a chance they could take down Dallas. Because I think Dallas is letting go Amari Cooper. I don't think they're gonna bring back Cedric Wilson, the other wide receiver. And I think DeMarcus Lawrence getting released, if I'm not mistaken.
Release.
Oh, that's Randy Gregory.
Yeah,
Randy Gregory.
they want him. Yeah, I think they want him to take a pay cut. He said that's probably going to get traded or released.
Yeah. So that defense taking a step back. They're not going to bring back Randy Gregory, according to the reports. Yeah, man, it's just a lot. They're going to doing a lot of things. Looks like they're just setting up Mike McCarthy to be a lame duck coach for Sean Payton, and who knows what the compensation for that's going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But I won't be surprised if Dallas takes a step back, and he takes a step back, and Dak, and they blame Dak for it. That's what some certain people do. A lot of people do. But I think it's just Washington Commanders can make some noise, man. The weapons they have is it looks good, man. But we'll see. All right, that's all we have for y'all for right now, man. Give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Listen to this on YouTube. Listen to this through Apple, Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave remarks. Let us know how you feel about the topics we talk about. Also, check out strike7sports.com for latest content on NFL, the NBA, and much more. Have a blessed night. Peace. We out.